Hey, fellow cousins. You remember? You remember we did the four at the beginning? If you want to, I'll tag it at the end of this video. Let me know. Meaning you know where we at, Mr. Creepy House. You already know what time it is. Animated horror stories. Animated horror stories. Boom, boom, boom. Ding. So this is a mixed up video. Right now we are going into another office horror story. Again, if you ain't see the last one, I don't know what to tell you. I'll tag it or go find it. Mm. Yeah. So let's get on into it. Please grab a blunt, grab a bottle of water, grab a bag of chips, and grab a blanket. The last ones were creepy. There was an office one. What? Lockdown. Old boy left his friend. Security guard was an undercover. And then we had two scary ass violent, like lovey dovey ones. And then someone got kidnapped for another man's birthday. Like it was really crazy last time. So let's see how crazy it gets this time. All right. Please like the video and go subscribe to Mr. Creepy. Yeah. Mm.
People say to never respond to a whisper of your name when you're alone in a dark, quiet place.
This is where we're
Because if
starting?
you do, it means that they have achieved their purpose. And then your soul will be drawn away soon.
Nah.
I used to think it was a bullshit myth. Until it actually happened to me.
This is where we're starting, y'all.
I just got a job at this company. On my first day, I was offered a nice desk with a great view. But not until looking twice did I notice that everything on the table was covered with a thin layer of dust.
So just
It looked
clean
like
it.
no one had sat there in a while. As soon as I settled into my seat, I immediately heard whispers from all around. Yes, right at that seat, I swear. She won't last long. I don't even dare look at that place. Those whispers behind my back made me very uncomfortable. Did I do something wrong? In the following days, my colleagues confused me even more when they looked at me with pity in their eyes.
You'll be fine, Sophia. Just ignore them and focus on your work.
I thought when I turned on the computer.
Sophia.
Girl.
There was someone whispering my name.
Yes?
I looked around, but no one seemed to have just called me.
It's odd.
Another long working day
nobody
had
like you
passed.
there.
At 4:30 p.m., I saw all my colleagues leave the office one by one. But I lingered until the manager left. Well, I just wanted to leave a good impression during the trial. The next morning, I was surprised to find that my computer was already on.
I remember turning it off before leaving yesterday.
After a week, I finally got adapted to mostly everything here, except the computer, which was always automatically turned on before I went to the office every morning. On the desktop, there was an error video file that I couldn't open or delete. It led to even more creepy things after that. My workload started to increase when I was accepted as a full-time employee. That day, I was working overtime when all my colleagues had left. When I was struggling with the documents, the computer screen suddenly flickered.
Damn it! Not this time.
I banged on the keyboard angrily.
Girl, don't do that.
The screen went back to normal, but a strange video popped up. It was a girl in business attire who was sobbing.
Stay working overtime? Why did you do that?
I stepped back in fear.
What the hell?
Then the screen went dark. From terror, no doubt cold sweat stood out on my brow. So terrified, I grabbed my bag from the table and fled from the office.
Sophia.
I was startled by a whispering voice in my ear.
Who is that?
I
Girl,
asked, then looked around.
you know it's just you.
But no one was in the office but me. I was more scared than ever. It felt like someone was stalking me from the darkness. I couldn't bear staying here for any minutes longer, so I entered the elevator and hurriedly pressed the button to the first floor. I breathed a sigh of relief, thinking that I had escaped from that scary scene. But when getting out of the elevator, I realized that this was not the first floor, but the rooftop of the building.
Sophia.
The voice called my name again. I looked around in panic. It was dark, so I narrowed my eyes and saw a girl wearing the same business clothes as mine. Her head was dented with blood everywhere around her empty eye sockets. And she had no legs at all. I was so scared that my whole body went numb. I knew I had to run, but my legs didn't work at all. There seemed to be an invisible entity holding me back.
They gave you lots of work to make you stay overtime, right? Don't worry. I'll help you out of this miserable place.
She held out her hand. Although I kept shaking my head, my body was pushed towards her by an invisible force. She slowly flew out of the building.
If I keep going, I will fall down.
I thought while frantically trying to get out.
Like,
Now I knew what it felt like to be close to death. Tears welled in my eyes. The girl kept looking at me with a terrifyingly cold gaze. I strained to stop my own footsteps. The moment I couldn't hold it back any longer, there was a hand that grabbed my wrist and pulled me
look
back.
at the Lord.
I was safe.
What are you doing?
Turned out, it was the security guard of the building.
Hey, girl, fuck out of
I
here.
was still shocked, so I couldn't say anything. The guard offered to take me home when he saw me exhausted.
You get fired?
On the way home, I told him everything that had just happened. After hearing that, his face turned pale with fear. He said that there was a girl who used to work at my place before, but because of work pressure, she was psychologically affected and eventually committed suicide by jumping off the top of the building.
Yeah. Like, girl, that's not helping nobody. Don't.
I couldn't utter a word after that. I knew the best thing I needed to do was submit my resignation the next morning. It was also the only way to bury the terrifying memory of that night forever.
Girl, you just got put on full time. You ain't die.
Love is in the air, they say, but Stacy thought she was an exception. She spent her first 20 years of life being alone, watching her peers happy with their other half. She needed a change, so after her 21st birthday, Stacy joined a dating show to find a boyfriend. But that decision eventually led to a terrible nightmare. Stacy Googled for some reliable dating shows to submit her resume. Since she had never dated before, she figured that maybe starting by show would make it more special. In her email,
girl.
she expressed that her ideal type of boyfriend should be a tall guy. She didn't care about their looks though, and especially she wanted him to be a food lover like her. After a week, Stacy finally received a reply from a famous dating show on TV, inviting her on their next episode. Oh, how much I wonder what he looks like and how he treats women. I'm so excited! Stacy was extremely excited the night before the show. She prepared the most
Girl, you ain't
beautiful
say
dress
nothing about
before
that.
going to bed.
And handsome. He said you want him
Stacy
tall
woke
and
up to find
medium.
her head a bit dizzy. My head hurts. Where am I?
You're not home?
She panicked when she found herself in a strange room which was decorated romantically. In front of her, there was a
applying for
dining
shit?
table with candles and flowers. A camera was placed in the corner of the room. Before Stacy could do anything, a strange man suddenly entered the room. He was in an elegant suit, but his appearance was extremely out of the ordinary. His eyes were skewed away, which looked terrifying. As soon as seeing the man, Stacy
Yeah, but you
immediately
saw.
became alert. Well, it was a dating show, and it could be posted on the media.
Girl.
She ought to play nice. Hello,
Out of nothing.
I'm Stacy. But before
And he
she
just came
finished
out
her
and
first
eat?
sentence, the man
No.
sat down in the
No.
chair and started to devour food on the table. Without using a knife or fork, he just picked the food up by his hand and poured it into his mouth. Ew! What are you doing? The sauce was smeared all over his face. The entire sumptuous meal, in an instant, turned into a mess. Stacy got so confused. Hey! Hey! Stop it! Do you hear me? As she was about to stand up, she realized that her legs were chained to the table. Stacy tried to pull the chain off, but she couldn't. Realizing the danger, Stacy anxiously looked around and spotted an
Yeah,
exit door
come out
over
with that
there,
chain on your
which
leg.
might be the only way out for her. Hey, who are you? Where am I? Stacy tried to get the man's attention but failed. She shouted,
Damn.
"What kind of freaking show is this? I want to get out of here!
Do I even
Let
get
me
a plate?
go! Let me
She didn't
out
even
of
get a
here!"
plate.
Just then, a voice from the speaker mounted in the corner of the room suddenly sounded.
Hello, Stacy. I hope you have a sweet first date with your ideal boyfriend.
After that polite announcement, there was a
Very.
ghastly laugh that spooked Stacy. Let me go! Who are you? Let me go! She tried to scream but got no response. Stacy lost her temper. She took the wine glass and threw it at the hungry man.
What'd you get at him?
Hey, weirdo! Did you hear me? He looked at her now with a crazy gaze that let her know he was a psycho. He stared at her for a while, then leaned closer to her. What do you want from me? Stacy was frightened by his strange behavior, and then he started sniffing around, his nose pressed against hers like a dog. He looked Stacy in
Lord.
the face, making her disgusted and pushed him away.
You should have just left his ass
Saliva
alone.
and the food from his mouth smeared on her face.
I would have died.
Stacy couldn't take it anymore. She was afraid of his filthy loathing. Meat. It's meat. I love meat. It's so delicious. Give me that meat.
You're about to eat
He
her?
rushed over, knocking Stacy to the floor.
You have to choke him with the chain on your leg.
Let me
girl.
go. Let me go.
He's gonna bite you.
He opened his mouth and bit her in the face.
Oh!
Let me out, you fucking freak!
In the face?
She pushed him so hard that he fell to the ground. She stood up, but he grabbed her leg and kept biting her.
Oh
She
my
grabbed
god!
a bottle of wine from
Don't
the table
choke him
and
with
hit
the
him
damn
over the head,
thing.
knocking him unconscious. Grabbing her bleeding ankle, she tried to pull her leg out of the chain, but carelessly injured her other leg. She tried to drag her bloody feet out of the room, but as soon as she opened the door, a masked man caught her.
Ah.
Who are you? Why are you arresting me? Let me go, or I'll call the police! Let me go! Oh? If you have signed up for the show, we will try our best to help you find an ideal boyfriend.
Like,
You
already
guys
know.
are crazy!
You already know that
What
man
kind of
wasn't
show
at it.
is this? Let
That
me
man
go!
tried to eat me. Like, why are y'all trying to put in like...
We'll do our best for you. The man led Stacy to the basement with several cells and locked her in a room. Just wait. Someone will match you soon.
Why now I go for a girl that's down to earth and like someone who eats and they get to pick you and you get to go in there and you probably gonna be hungry just like dude.
People say love is a serious mental disease.
Blue hair.
If we look into the symptoms of falling in love, we find out that most lovers qualify for diagnosis of obsessional illness, depression, or manic depression. And yeah, guilty here. I don't deny the fact that if I love someone, I have to own them at any cost. And I could do anything for love.
So this is you. This is a you story. You're the one.
I had a crush on a college classmate named Stella. Unfortunately,
She looked like
she
a bad
already
bitch.
had a boyfriend, and I even heard rumors that they were getting married.
Oh,
I
so
couldn't
she's
stand that. Stella must be mine.
engaged.
And a
Boy.
miracle happened. Before the wedding day, her fiancé suddenly died for an unknown reason.
You kill her fiance?
It was like the sky opening up to me. Stella had
You killed her
become
man?
single again, and I had to seize this
You
opportunity.
didn't even let her get married first?
But since
Get
the
some
death of
money?
her fiancé, she had become aloof and weird. Stella
Leave her
quit all the
alone.
clubs at school and avoided everyone. She spent the whole day at the
Yeah,
library
breathing.
researching brain surgery procedures, even though she majored in dermatology. Her body gave off an unpleasant odor. It looked like she was affected by the trauma more than I thought. It was time
You
to go
killed her
over
fucking
and comfort
husband.
her. Hi, Stella. I'm so sorry for your loss. Your boyfriend. What did you say? Sorry for what? Your fiancé. I heard he passed away. He's not dead. Don't talk nonsense! Everyone in the library was staring at us. I confusedly left and waited for another chance to strike up a conversation
Don't talk
with
to
her,
her.
but
Leave
a
her
strange thing happened the next day. Stella asked me to hang out with her. Needless to say, I was so happy to hear what she said, and I
Oh.
nodded without thinking.
Her haunted boyfriend told her that you killed him. and
That
now she's
night,
gonna kill
I
you.
went to pick her up. I stood at the front porch and knocked on the door.
Mm-hmm.
Stella? Stella, it's me, Brian. The sauce was smeared all over his face. The entire sumptuous meal, in an instant, turned into a mess. When I got in, the living room was so dark and cold. It seemed that the heater was not working. Stella?
Nope.
Are
her
you
being
home?
possessed.
Everything
mad
in there
that
was
you
so
have blue
messy,
hair.
with empty food boxes
Ugh,
scattered
out here
everywhere,
acting
as
like
if
this,
no one
killing
had
people's
cleaned up
husbands.
for days. I saw a light coming from a room at the end of the hallway. I slowly went there.
That's her man.
Stella? Where are you? Stella? When I got to the door, I was shocked to see a man lying on the bed. He looked stiff, his skin pale and lifeless. I tried to take a closer look. Oh my God. Hello, Brian.
Oh, she's gonna try to. She's gonna try to pit. You're bringing in.
I woke up to find myself tied to a table by ropes. I tried to move, but my body seemed to lose all strength. Right next to me was the man's corpse, decomposing and reeking of a strong odor. Shit. What the hell happened? The door opened, and Stella stepped in. I was so scared that I couldn't speak. She stood still, looking at me with a craving gaze. Stella, what do you want from me?
Your brain.
I just want, I think you would be a great fit for him. Let me go, Stella. Please, he's dead and he can't come back to life. How dare you say that? He's not dead! You shut up! She walked over and stroked the corpse, then kissed its lips. Very soon I'll bring you back to life.
You did this.
I love
I know you killed her husband.
Her eyes were filled with joy when she said those words. That horror scene gave me goosebumps.
That is
Stella
good.
definitely went crazy after the death of her fiancé. I had to get out of there, for God's sake. She picked up the needle. We need to get the anesthesia first. It won't hurt. Stella, please! Please wake up! He's dead! His body is decomposing! Look! No, he's not dead! My heart broke into 1,000 pieces when I saw Stella go crazy, but before saving her, I had to find a way to save myself first. I tried to move little by little, hoping that the rope would loosen. When the needle was about to touch my skin, I broke free and resisted her aggression. I quickly got the needle from her hand and stabbed her back. Stella passed out. You must be mine.
Ah, that's why I wanted him to die. That's why I wanted
brought
him to
Stella
die.
home and chained her in my secret cellar. Oh, Stella, I'm the only one who loves you the most. Your ex, now he's just a corpse.
That's why I wanted him to die.
Where am I?
He kidnapped
Brian?
you, girl.
Oh, are you awake? The anesthesia wears off more quickly than I thought. Let me out, you bastard! Give me my husband back! Ah! No, dear. He's already dead.
Not you hitting
Stop
her!
thinking about him. I'm the one you should love. She burst into tears
you
and
hitting
fell to the
her?
ground.
She hit
I
you with a
stepped
bat
over
once.
and held her tightly in my arms. I finally got Stella.
I hope you get arrested.
As time passed, Stella gradually forgot about her ex and accepted me as her new lover. Lucky for me, she hadn't discovered the truth about her ex's death. Thank God.
I know.
I hope that little dark secret of mine will be kept for the rest of my life.
I hope she's still killed.
It's 93 degrees out there and you're still wearing this scarf? Why do you wear this scarf every day? It's so old and I can see it's already torn. Let go, don't touch it, and leave me alone. That's crazy. Perhaps you also wonder why I always wear this scarf. So today, I will muster up all my courage to be able to tell the most horrifying story of my life.
I mean, we don't really care.
2 years
But,
ago,
hey.
I was in my sophomore year of college in California and knew Jacob. Jacob is a very good person, very hot, and extremely in love with me. But our love is not fine. From the very beginning, we were bothered by Jacob's ex-girlfriend, Emma.
Okay.
Emma is pretty and has a hot body, but she has a rotten personality.
Okay.
The first day Jacob and I moved in together, Emma appeared in front of our house. She looked like a lunatic, throwing all our things away and frantically screaming at us as if we were the culprits. You are a pair of adulterers. You took Jacob from me. Let
Girl,
me
you don't
go, you
beat her
psycho. Let go. Jacob, help me. Fortunately, Jacob stopped her in time, or she would have pulled out all the hair on my head. Jacob angrily drove her away and comforted me. At least Jacob at that time was still a sane Jacob and still in love with me. We lived happily together for 2 weeks without any disturbance from Emma. I thought she seemed to have accepted the truth and let go of the two of us. But then the storm started again. That day, after returning from school, I couldn't find Jacob, even though he said he would stay home all day. 1 call, 2 calls,
kidnapped your man?
3 calls. I don't remember how many times I called him, but he didn't pick up. I also called all of Jacob's relatives, but no one knew where Jacob was. I began to have bad premonitions in my mind. I tried to go to the places where Jacob was most likely to go, but couldn't find him. So I went home and prayed to Jacob, hoping that he would return tomorrow.
You prayed
All
to
that
Jacob, not
night,
Jesus?
I tormented myself and could not sleep. Suddenly, I was startled when I heard the doorbell ring in a hurry. I ran down to open the door, surprised to see Jacob, who was sloppy breathing in a state of extreme panic. Oh my God, Jacob, what's wrong?
Come in, quickly.
Jacob immediately locked the door when he
I'm
entered the
in, boy,
house.
you come
He
in.
seemed to be being chased by someone. Just when that thought crossed my mind, there was a loud banging on the door and a scream. Jacob, you can't leave me. Jacob, open the door. If you don't come with me, you'll be in excruciating pain.
No. Go away. Otherwise, I will call the police.
You'll pay the price for leaving me.
Should've been called the
Everything
cops. Get the
finally
fuck outta
quieted
here.
down after Emma said that curse. I have never seen Jacob so scared. He looks like he just went through a life or death battle. There is even a cut on his left wrist. I quickly bandaged the wound and reassured him. Jacob then said that Emma kidnapped him and did something very scary.
Some voodoo.
I don't know what Emma did to Jacob, but the following days were hell for us, especially for Jacob. Early the next morning, Jacob was like a lost soul. He got up and started mumbling something.
Emma, have to find Emma.
Just as he was about to leave the bed, I grabbed Jacob's hand. Jacob seemed to wake up, but he couldn't remember what he said back then. But that was only the first day with very minor strange symptoms.
Girl, just
The
send him out
next
the
days
door. You
were
got possessed.
disastrous. Jacob refused to eat anything. Every time he ate something, he vomited it all up. Initially, I took Jacob to the hospital for a checkup, but the doctor said he was fine and just needed to rest. I was helpless and brought him back home. Jacob's symptoms got worse and worse. He kept screaming and demanding to find Emma.
Emma, if I don't meet Emma, I'll die. Emma.
Girl, he's possessed.
Jacob,
It's either let him
please,
die at the house
wake up, Jacob.
or
Jacob!
send him to Emma.
I had no choice but to knock him out and lock him in the guest room. I tried to contact Emma and question her, but she always asked me to hand Jacob over to her. I honestly couldn't do that, and that's when I decided to find a way to free Jacob myself. I contacted everyone I knew, but to no avail. Jacob is getting
How you know
thinner
it's low?
and thinner. He was frantically screaming, scratching the door repeatedly, making my heart so painful.
Emma, have to find Emma.
Girl, you don't care about
Emma.
The door to the room was now covered with scratches mixed with Jacob's blood. I still try to find a way to save Jacob every day, but everything seems to pull me to the dead edge. Jacob was lying on the bed, his eyes darkened from sleepless days. He was still unconsciously muttering the name of that cruel woman. I couldn't help but feel sorry for Jacob's situation, so I picked up the phone to call Emma for help. Moments
Girl, just give her
later,
her man.
Emma was at my house. Seeing Jacob's situation, Emma also panicked. She went to
Bitch,
give
you
her
did
something to eat, but at that moment, Jacob suddenly sat up and vomited out the black liquid, and mixed in it were 3 horrible, rusty nails. Oh my god, Jacob! He looked like he wanted to tell me something, but then he froze. I cried helplessly and held Jacob in my arms. The feeling of watching the person you love die in your arms but cannot be cured is extremely bad. Everything around me fell apart as Jacob's breathing grew weaker and weaker. Emma, do something! It was she who caused all this.
It
Jacob,
was.
I have to be strong. We're just starting a new life. I can't leave you like this. Please, Jacob, stay with me. Jacob suddenly jerked up like a convulsion, his eyes widening. Dark purple veins sprouted all over Jacob.
Oh yeah, that's not
And that was the moment Jacob left me. The moment I felt the most hopeless in the world. Emma then also tried to stuff something more into Jacob's mouth, but couldn't. Then she too suddenly had a convulsion and died instantly like Jacob.
Huh. That's what you get, bitch, putting love spells on people.
After Jacob's death, I fell into contemplation and melancholy. I always put on the red scarf he gave me on our first date. Until then, I was learning about love spell and knew that there was such a scary thing in the world, and it was probably what Emma did to Jacob that caused him to die a painful death.
That's what she did. Okay, we did 4. We'll do the next 4 in the other one. Because why not? You know? Split it up 4, 4, 4. I hope you enjoyed this one. I honestly enjoyed these 4. Yes, it was mostly love stories, but I love a good spooky love story. She really put a love spin on that man, and they both died because they were so tired. That's her own fault. Ugh, I just feel bad because that's her man. You gonna kill her man? Old boy with the blue hair, I really wanted him to die. I really, even though it's animated, I really wanted him to get hurt. Cause stop playing. But until next time, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I love you. Bye.